Hey everyone. This is a very spontaneous live. I had no time to even notify any of you that I was going live, to post it on Instagram. I had a few free minutes and I thought I would take this time to pop on here because it's been over a month at least since I posted a video here to this channel, and I feel so guilty for not being more present on here. So I figured, okay, let's pop on here and do a quick live Q&A. The reason why I'm here right now is because one of my clients that's meeting me here in my office is running about 20 to 30 minutes late. So I'm taking 20 minutes. That's all I have to answer any of your questions that you guys have for me. So if you have any questions, start putting them in the comments because I don't have too much time, and I can answer anything that, any questions that you guys have. The reason why I haven't posted content on here in over a month is because life with a new baby has been much harder than I anticipated, and it's been really hard to get some free time to film a video. So it is what it is. I'm in my kitchen right now, so my dishwasher is running and it's loud. I apologize, but 20 minutes, I'm like, let's just do this because I've been promising a live video for a while now on Instagram and I haven't done one. So here I am. I hope all of you guys are doing amazing. We're doing good. Thank you everybody for the sweet messages lately. Baby had a lot of health issues at the start, but we are good now and everything's back on track. So I will be back on YouTube. Don't worry, just trying to find a new rhythm. All right. I'll start off by answering Kiki's question, which is the first one, and it's, what do you think of juice cleansing? So I have mixed feelings on this. I think juices are amazing, especially when they're vegetable juices and organic. They have so many health benefits, and I do a lot of juicing myself, actually. However, I don't recommend juicing if you haven't done any kind of drainage or detoxing before. Here's the reason. Juice cleanses pull toxins out of the cells, which have been deposited there over many, many years. And that's a good thing. We want toxins to come out of the cells. But once the toxins come out of the cells from all of these nutrients that you're consuming with the juicing, they have to leave the body. And the way that they leave the body is by going into the blood from the cells and then going to our emunctories, like our liver and our kidneys. And they will try to exit. But most of us, if we haven't done any kind of drainage or cleansing before, have congested eliminatory systems, and so toxins cannot leave efficiently through the body, and therefore they end up just recirculating through the bloodstream, and they deplete our antioxidants because they cause a lot of inflammation, specifically antioxidants like glutathione and vitamin C. These antioxidants will get depleted in the body, making us way more inflamed and causing more tissue damage and stuff like that in the long run. So is juice cleansing good? It depends. It's not for everybody. And if you've kind of led a normal life or an unhealthy life and you haven't done any drainage or anything first, or any liver, kidney support, I would wait with the cleansing, do the liver and kidney work first, and then do juice cleansing down the line. I hope that answered your question. SKD, thank you so much. I am doing well. I actually have another channel, Marla Pietruszko, here on YouTube. And that one I actually talked about what kind of happened with my baby, my son. He had seizures when he was born. He had heart arrhythmias. There was all kinds of health issues. Everything has resolved and it's cleared up and they all went away on their own. But in the beginning, it was a wild ride and I had a lot of complications with my labor and delivery. It was like I said, wild ride. It was insane, but I'm doing good now. So thank you so much for asking. I kind of fell off the map for about a month as life was just so nuts. We were in and out of hospitals with myself and the baby, but everything's good now. And so, like I said, I'm just trying to find my rhythm and new routines, but thank you so much for asking. Nam says, what supplements do you take? So I'm kind of on a lot and it depends day to day. Like it's honestly really different. Typically, I'll say the ones I will take consistently is a probiotic right now because of labor and stress on my body. When I was really stressed out, obviously, which really affects the gut. I've been doing a high dose probiotic. So I'm doing the Genestra HMF Intensive 500. It's 500 billion CFU, and I'm doing 1 packet a day to just repopulate the gut. I didn't have antibiotics or anything during labor, but I'm doing it just because of all the stress. I also take fish oil every single day. I use the Genestra Super EFA capsules. I'm also doing beef liver. So I'm using the Genestra TLIP. It's called TLIP, and it's grass-fed bovine liver. This is just to restore my iron and my B vitamins, also from pregnancy. And then I'm taking, there's a supplement, it's called Trauma Gen from Genestra. It's like a little homeopathic tincture. And I've been taking that for trauma because my labor was really traumatic. But aside from that, I'm also doing ashwagandha and astragalus for my adrenals. I'm just so tired all the time, understandably. And then for my hormones, and PCOS, I'm doing inositol. So that's something that I'm doing every single day. There's more to it, and every day is kind of different. I'll take some extra stuff here and there, but that's like the main stuff that I'm doing. And for those asking, what new baby? I had a baby 2 months ago, so that's who we're talking about. Tasha says, can you heal candida with food and diet only and without supplements? So again, this is a dependent on the person. I have found in my practice, I deal with really sick clients and really inflamed clients. And so for my clients, at least, and people I've dealt with, the answer is no, you need supplements. However, if you have really, really mild overgrowth, if you've been really healthy your whole life and you don't really have any symptoms and you're just trying to keep your gut pretty happy, you're probably okay to just do dietary things and add in stuff like ginger and lots of like clove and cinnamon through your food. But for the average person, supplements are needed because most of us do have significant overgrowth from antibiotics, from foods that we eat, and sugars and stress and everything else. So I find that if you don't implement supplements, you don't really get enough results with food alone. And sorry, the kids are downstairs, so they're going to be a little bit loud. I hope it's not too chaotic. Let me see here. My 4-year-old daughter is a picky eater. Would you recommend giving her a supplement designed for kids? So yeah, this is a good question. I do. So there's a great multivitamin from Genestra. It's called HMF Child and Multi. So it's a probiotic and a multivitamin all in one. This one's great because it gives them everything, and it's like a chewable. It tastes really nice, and it's not like full of garbage. So that one's what I would recommend to give to kids like 4 and up if they're not really getting enough nutrition. There's also a greens powder from Douglas Labs. It's called Organic Greens and Reds. It tastes really good, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not a picky person, so I probably have different taste buds than most people, but to me, it does really taste nice. And I think it might be something to try. You can give her a greens powder and some water, and it might kind of be like a juice to her, or maybe add it to like a little bit of a sweeter smoothie if she'll do some sweeter smoothies. And that could be a good way to get some like food-based nutrition in her. As far as other supplements go, I can't really make recommendations unless obviously she's a client, but I do find for most kids as well, they could handle a fish oil, and that might get some omegas in her as well. If you can if she can swallow capsules. Otherwise, if she wants a chewable one, the Genestra DHA Pedia Burst is amazing. You guys can find all these supplements on puremarket.ca. I'll link them down below once I post this video. So those are my recommendations. The DHA Pedia Burst is like an orange flavored chewable fish oil that she might be able to enjoy. Also, actually, Nam, one other thing I would say would be a probiotic for kids as well. I know I said like there's a chewable that she can have the probiotic and the multivitamin in one, but I usually like above that give my kids extra probiotics just to really support their gut. All right, what else here? I'm keeping an eye on the time. We have about 10 more minutes. Dizzy Moonchild says, can we take different supplements all at once? Sometimes on the bottles, it says to wait 2 hours if you take medication. Is this the same with other supplements? So it honestly, this is hard for me to answer because yes, it does depend on the supplement. So if you're consuming a supplement that's considered a binder, so like a chlorella, a charcoal, something like that, you want to take it away from not just medications, but everything else, including food, because it binds to everything, even good stuff, and pulls it out. If you're taking something that's high in tannins, so any herbs like your black walnut, your milk thistle, these tannins prevent nutrients from absorbing into the gut when you take them. So these types of supplements you also want to take away from medications and food because it'll prevent nutrients from absorbing into the gut. So a lot of supplements will have some kind of effect like this. Typically it's your herbs and then your binders, again, charcoal, chlorella, bentonite, clay, things like that. But there are other ones that can have this effect too. My recommendation is always follow the bottle recommendations. If they say to take it away from other medications, there's a reason for it. And it's usually going to be because it's going to prevent the absorption of whatever you're eating or taking. So always follow the bottle. If it tells you 2 hours, do it 2 hours, because again, there's always a reason for it. If it says nothing on the back, then you're probably good to take it with other stuff. That being said, I also will always say, like, if you're on a medication specifically, always take the medication away from any natural supplements, just as a safeguard. Cynthia says, hi, glad to see you, and blessings for the new baby. Thank you so much. What do I recommend for sinus infection, and what is the cause of excess earwax? Okay, so excess earwax, I'll start there, is usually dysbiosis or fungal overgrowth, and also poor lymphatic drainage. So work on the lymphatic system and do a good pathogen cleanse, and that over time should clear up the excess earwax. As far as sinus infection goes, my couple recommendations are this. So if you're having sinus discharge or anything like that, there's an indication that there's liver toxicity. So your body's sending toxins and things to the mucous membranes to try to get rid of them if they can't exit the liver. So liver support. There's also usually excess histamine. If you have a lot of histamine in the gut, then this is going to produce a lot of mucus, and that'll affect the mucous membranes, as that's where mucus is eliminated. So working on reducing histamine by lowering histamine foods like eggs, citrus, dairy, things like that, sugar, but then also work on clearing out histamine from the body, which you can do with an antihistamine and or a pathogen cleanse, as pathogens create a lot of histamine. So those are my recommendations. As far as supplements go, it's very different from person to person, but 2 supplements I really like that I find work well when you combine it with a better diet and things like that would be one called Pyrogenium Plex. It's from Unda. We have it on Pure Market. This is like literally for any sinus congestion. It's a homeopathic. Pyrogenium Plex. And then the other one I would recommend is called Black Currant Bud. This is also from Genestra. It's another like phytogen homeopathic that's really great with like histamine and allergic type symptoms and things like that. I find it works really well with the respiratory system and mucous membranes. So those are the 2 supplements. You can follow the bottle dosage and directions. There's much more that I would recommend, but I can't give you like a full-on protocol, obviously, without doing more intake, but really looking at the root of it, which is usually histamine, liver, things like that, and addressing that should clear it up pretty good. All right, we got a few more minutes. Let's see here. Dana says, what's the diet you recommend for psoriasis? Did it come back for you? What should one do to stop it from coming back? So I have been in remission I lost track for years. When I started like working on my health and I cleared up all my skin and everything, I've been in remission, but I lead a very healthy lifestyle. So I don't eat gluten. It's something that I've chosen to not have for life. I don't know if I can have it. I don't try, but I just chose to not have it because for me, it's not considered a healthy food. And I really limit dairy and really limit sugar. When I'm at home, I'm eating so clean. That being said, I do go out and will go get like a gluten-free piece of cake once in a while or a treat. So I do have sugar and treats, but really limited. I do a lot of deep breathing. I do a lot of like breath work and I exercise. So my lifestyle is very healthy to keep me in remission. As far as the diet that I recommend, this is what I will recommend for all my clients, and it works really well if you stick with it. You want to be gluten, dairy, and sugar-free. These 3 foods, whether you're allergic or sensitive to them or not, are the top inflammatory foods, and then from there, nightshades as well. I find that by cutting out those 4 food groups or food items, nightshades, sugar, gluten, and dairy, you should see some really amazing results. But from there, you want to eat what I call like an alkaline and anti-inflammatory diet. I have a meal plan on my website, holisticspring.com. That ebook is called a 7-day holistic meal plan. You can look into it if you'd like. It's beautiful, and you can repeat it as many times as you like. And everything in there is gluten, dairy, sugar, nightshade-free, yeast-free, peanut-free, etc. So it's completely made for psoriasis and other health issues as well. But the nice thing about it is that it's alkaline and anti-inflammatory, and that's how you want to eat if you have psoriasis. So that means your majority of your plate and your foods that you're eating should be really good quality proteins, and lots of dark green leafy vegetables and cruciferous vegetables, which are alkaline. And then the smaller portion of your meals or plate should be healthy fats and what I call like high fiber carbs. I'll give you a really quick sample of what this would look like. Wake up in the morning and either have like a chia seed pudding with berries. I would say throw collagen or some kind of protein in there to boost your protein. Or you could do like a smoothie with spinach and berries and a coconut milk or something, some flax, and then a protein powder of choice to sweeten it up. For lunch, I would recommend a bowl. I make bowls like every day almost. They're my favorite. And I do like a quinoa, which is a carb, but it's a high fiber carb, so it's good to have. And then I top it with a huge handful of like arugula or spinach or kale. Top it with a protein of your choice. For me, it's like chicken, shrimp, or salmon. I like those three. And then a dressing of choice. I like the Primal Kitchen dressings, or I'll make my own avocado cilantro dressing. Dinner would be a protein with steamed veggies like asparagus, avocado, maybe some roasted squash. Now for snacks, I would do a handful of trail mix. I would do hummus and carrots or guacamole and cucumbers, those kinds of things. So you're having really clean things. And then for desserts, which I make all the time, I use like a liquid stevia to sweeten them naturally or something, or a little bit of like honey. So you're not having a ton of sugar. That's kind of like what an alkaline anti-inflammatory day of eating would look like. And that's kind of how I eat day to day. Some days are better, some days are worse, just depends on how busy I am, but that's kind of what I'd recommend. So alkaline and anti-inflammatory, which means whole foods and lots of veggies with limiting your starchy carbs. And then also making sure you're really avoiding gluten, dairy, sugar, and nightshades. Now, this is if you want to clear up your psoriasis. If you've already cleared up and you're in remission, you can be a little more lenient with like your nightshades. You probably could tolerate them here and there. Your carbs, you can be a little more lenient with. So I hope this makes sense, and I hope that helps. All right, I can probably answer one or two more questions. Let's see here. I have daily bloating for years. This is from Sergio. Mucus when I pass gas, infrequent bowel movements, and urinary urgency and frequency. Any thoughts? Okay, so there's a lot going on here, but right off the bat, if there's bloating, period, it doesn't matter why. If there is bloating, there's two things happening. One, there's insufficient stomach acid and or digestive enzymes, so you're just not breaking down your meals properly. And two, there's dysbiosis. Most tests will come back negative for like stool tests and stuff for pathogens because of biofilms. I made a whole video on YouTube about this, so I won't take up time explaining why stool tests are not accurate. But even if a test comes back and says you do not have certain pathogens, usually you still do. So always take it with a grain of salt. When there's pathogens in the gut and you're not breaking down your food well, it's sitting in the colon for too long, and pathogens that are there are breaking it down and feeding off of it. And during this feeding, they're fermenting the food, and the food is creating gases, or gases are being produced, and that's causing your bloating. So number one, I would say highly recommend like a candida parasite or pathogen type of cleanse, and then increasing your enzymes. Number two, if you're having infrequent bowel movements, also a good indication that there's dysbiosis, but I would highly recommend a fiber supplement or implementing it in your diet, doing lots of sprouted ground flax and chia seeds, add it to smoothies or bake with it, or however you want to get them in. You can do them in capsules as well with lots of water. This should really get the bowels moving over time. And then the other thing too is just also make sure that like you're exercising, you're moving your body, as we need that to help with moving our blood flow and our lymph and our digestive system. And then as far as like urinary urgency and frequency goes, sounds like there might be inflammation there in the urinary tract, which can be triggered by pathogens, by an imbalance of pH in the body. So that I can't really tell you specifically what to do for that. But what I can say is it probably wouldn't hurt to lower inflammation overall in the body with healthy diet, deep breathing, and you can try doing things like ginger shots. Obviously, check with your practitioner or doctor before taking any supplements or things like that, because I don't know your specific case. But just looking at an overall anti-inflammatory diet, really upping fiber, soluble fiber, not like vegetable fiber or anything, just pure seeds, and upping your water, and then looking into doing like a pathogen cleanse and increasing enzymes over time should be able to help somewhat at least. All right, let me see here. Okay, the last question I'm going to answer is about what would I do if I'm suspecting fungal issues in the body. She says, I went keto, but found symptoms got worse, horrible, had a breakfast bagel and felt better. So if you're having fungal overgrowth, obviously do a pathogen cleanse. I don't recommend keto for most people right off the bat. Most people will feel worse on the keto diet because of one, die off, and two, you're straining the liver as the liver has to break down all the fats, which means you're going to have more congestion and more toxicity building up. Most people who have major fungal overgrowth do feel better after having carbs or like a bagel because it makes the pathogens happy. If they're starving off, they release, it's called quorum sensing. They release signals to the brain that make you crave carbs and sugar. And then once you have them, makes you feel better. So you keep having them to keep feeding the pathogens. It's crazy, sounds nuts, but there are tons of studies proving this. So when you have fungal overgrowth, most people will feel better when they eat carbs, at least initially, excuse me. And then once you really clear out the pathogens, you'll find that you don't need carbs anymore and you're happy having more fats and protein. So definitely start a pathogen cleanse with some liver and kidney support. And then from there, I would recommend not going keto, just doing lower carb and eating like what I call the yes carbs, which are your high fiber carbs, and getting rid of like starchy carbs like rice and potatoes and sugars and things like that. And hopefully that helps. You want to start slow. You don't want to go cold turkey. I find if you're eating carbs and then you just stop them and go to keto, that can make you feel not so great. I hope that helps. So I'm going to end the video here, guys, but I promise I'm coming back to do another live hopefully this week or like the following week. I just wanted to pop on here, say hi, show my face. It's been so long, and just let you guys know that I'm not stopping YouTube by any means. And I have content on my to film list. I just haven't had a second to do it with baby crying a lot and needing me. So getting back to it, I post content every single week, and to me, it's like mind-blowing content about autoimmune and everything else that you can think of on my membership platform, holisticspring.org. So all my energy is going there right now because I only have a little bit of time. If you guys want content that you don't find anywhere else, that's uncensored because it's my own platform, and that is incredible. And I always back it up with a lot of scientific research. Highly recommend joining the membership. You can cancel at any time and you get so much information and resources and freebies and all kinds of stuff there. So it's holisticspring.org. I'll link that in the description as well. Like I said, I think it's an awesome space, and you can reach me anytime through there and ask any questions you want in the forums. So you get access to me 24/7. I respond to everything in depth. So it's like way better even than a YouTube live because I can spend as much time as I need to reply. And I do videos on there that are just exclusive to the platform. I have discount codes on supplements and so much more. So definitely check it out if you want more content from me more regularly. But like I said, I will be back on YouTube soon, and I hope all of you are doing, amazing and having a beautiful start to your fall season. I will be here hopefully before the American Thanksgiving, but to all you Canadians, happy Thanksgiving this weekend, and to all you Americans, happy Thanksgiving. I know it's coming up in November, and I will see everybody soon. Bye.